We're checking in with team number 1619, Up a Creek Robotics. These guys rock. Had a phenomenal season with 2 regional wins so far here, and they're looking to rocket at the Houston Championship as well. So we can't wait to talk to you guys and learn a little bit more about your robot. So as we go through it, we ask them you just introduce yourself too, would be great. So I want to ask you a little about design strategy as you went through, right? So this robot, it's one of those things that it performs really well. It's a little boxy, right? But tell me a little about some of your design. What was the thought process behind making the robot? And then something in regards to like the box tubing, why did you choose to go that route as well?
Yeah, I can answer that. I'm Drew Arnold. I'm a junior on 1619. Effectively, in the first few days of the competition, we read through the rules, and then we spend that entire first couple of days just talking about strategy, what we're trying to do, and what we think other really high-level teams are going to be doing. And then we design our robot based on how we think we can beat that strategy or how we think we can perform in that strategy as best as possible.
And looking in regards to strategy, one thing that comes up is you have to think about autonomous modes with that, right? And you guys have had a pretty awesome autonomous so far. So tell me about when you think about strategy and you're like, okay, I really need to do this autonomous or this one, how has that iteration process happened through the competition season so far?
Yeah, so in the beginning of the year, or in the beginning of the season, we're finishing up our bot a little later than we wanted to, so we went into Hub City with sort of some simple autonomous modes, just enough to get the RPs, because that's what we needed to seed first and then win the event. And then throughout the season we progressed. At Colorado we had 2 switch autonomous and a 2 scale. Idaho, those were improved, and here we're coming out with switch scales from centers, 3 cube scale, all sorts of other autonomous modes.
So go ahead, Nevin.
Yeah, so I'm Nevin. I'm from 1619. Just to add to that, so we knew that we had to improve those autonomous modes, and going into that, we improved our control code a lot with that, and so now we actually choose waypoints on the field, which is something really cool we're able to do coming into Worlds. We can pick like XY coordinates, like the field was a coordinate plane, and then our robot just generates like the optimal path through those points, which is really neat.
So I want to wrap up here and ask you about this massive intake that you guys have here, which I think is something when people think 1619 this year, this is the thing that really pops out. So tell me a little bit about it and some of the features of it too. What's something that's really cool with it? Who wants to take that?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I'm Zach. I'm a senior on the team. So we have a large intake. In the beginning of the year, we knew it would be very important to intake cubes, and we knew they'd be falling off and they'd be all over the field, so we wanted to intake them in any orientation. So this collector can do that, tall and short configuration. And it's 27 inches long, so the full field. That also makes us it makes it easier on the autonomous modes, more forgiving here. And what's cool is that this whole thing here flexes back, so that way we can collect those tall cubes so that, in any orientation. And then in the short configuration, this applies pressure so we don't lose it. And then we can actually flip the arm over to eject the cubes on the back. Drew, you want to show that here? So we can come up, and then we can come over. The arm just totally comes around the elevator, and then we can spit it out the back. It's actually, the whole rotating part's about 16 pounds, and it's counterbalanced here, so that's why we can move it, rather easily during the match. Yeah, and it's pretty similar like what we had last year, but definitely lots of changes. It's been working pretty well.
Well, 1619 Up a Creek, we can't wait to see how you guys are going to play tomorrow. We know you're going to be in the playoffs. We'll see how deep you go. Hopefully looking for a big Einstein run here at Houston.